our keynote speaker, Clement.
There we go. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. This is fun, and it's going to be entertaining and enjoyable. And tell your friends all about what's going on here, the educational, the networking portion of it all. Now, I want to introduce our main speaker for today from the Luke's Network. She's going to share on 5 things that we shouldn't be doing regards to our marketing and stuff. So help me welcome, if you will, Annalisa Lukes. Annalisa.
Thank you, everybody. Good afternoon. Hi, my name is Annalisa Lukes. I'm the CEO and founder of the Luke's Network. You can learn more about us on thelukesnetwork.com. Thank you, Clement, for the invitation to speak today. And really thank you to everybody at the Chamber for your warm welcome. We have here in the audience, Jay Lukes, who are COO as well. So for the next 20 minutes or so, we're going to talk about the 5 ways that your brand can stand out. Okay, so 5 ways that your brand can stand out. And as we were getting ready and preparing for this, we thought, oh, we should have shortened it to 3 because we can really go on and on for quite a bit about this for a long period of time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. And if you are able to see my screen, go thumbs up. Awesome, great. Okay, so thank you again for this opportunity to share just tips on how you can make your brands stand out. We as small businesses are really reliant on making sure that we are seen in the marketplace, in the community, just as the big businesses and the big brands are. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you value having your brand or your business, your company or your service or product stand out? Go like this. Is that an important thing? Okay, and I also want this to be an interactive, and so feel free to interrupt, ask questions, make comments, whatever else during the conversation. And it's a small enough group where we can do that. Do you also value brands or companies or services that stand out to you, that connect with you? Is that a good thing? Does it help you make those decisions of whether or not to support or purchase something? So again, over the next few minutes, we're just going to talk about 5 ways to make your brand stand out, regardless of what it is, if it's a product or it's a service. Okay, so here are the 5 ways that we believe you can do this. Communicate your why, show authenticity, be visible and be consistent, use stories and data, and then last but not least, deliver quality and impeccable customer service. And again, we can talk at the Luke's Network on any one of these topics for a good 20 minutes or an hour apiece, but we'll go through them fairly quickly. So first, communicate why your business exists. How would you describe your purpose or why your company or your service or your product exists? This is a really important part. How many of you know why your product or your service or your business exists? Thumbs up. Okay, great. How many of you, when you're talking about your business, start with why it exists? Okay, good. I see 1. So this is really, really important because your why is your soul. It's your identity. It's your mirror to the world. It's what you communicate to the world as to what makes you different, what sets you apart from other like-minded or similar businesses, products, or services. So it's very, very important. You probably have heard of the Golden Circle. Raise your hand if you've heard of the Golden Circle. If you haven't yet, go to YouTube. It's a fairly popular TED Talk from 2009, done by Simon Sinek, who's an author, he's a speaker as well. But he talks about starting with why. When you talk about whether it's coffee, whether it is merchant services, how can you tell your story in a way that starts up with why it exists in the first place? Because what Simon Sinek says is most companies will start with what, because it's the easiest thing to talk about, right? I'm a coffee manufacturer and we roast coffee in XYZ way. But why does the world need another type of coffee? And that's a question that I think is critical for us as small business owners to be thinking about. So in this talk, and you'll hear more about it if you go to YouTube, he uses Apple as an example, Apple Computers, right? Which is a computer company just like Dell is a computer company. But Sinek says the reason why Apple has such a cult following is they talk about their why first. They start with why. And what they say is, we exist for the purpose of disrupting the status quo, making sure that we're not just like everyone else. We do it through technology, and we just happen to be a computer company. So they flip the messaging so that it really goes to the heart of why the world needs Apple, and that's to disrupt the status quo. And I just gave a talk at the Center Club earlier this week, a whole hour regarding why and why it's important to know what your purpose is and what makes you stand out if you're a purpose-driven company. But on the right-hand side of the screen, Michael Cooley is a professor at Harvard and at Princeton, and he basically said, the purpose of your brand is to represent your purpose, no matter what it is. Always see if you can start with why. And if nothing else from this talk, I would like you to take a note of these sentences. How would you complete this sentence? I'm a business on a mission to ... My business exists for the purpose of ... The world needs my business because ... And at the end, I'm going to invite you, if you know how to finish these sentences or any one of these sentences, please share it, because then we're going through the exercise. This is one tangible thing that I would like you to take away from this conversation, is if you can finish any one of these sentences and really understand what your why is and connect using that story first, your brand will stand out, okay? A second way that brands stand out is by showing authenticity. By show of hands, how many are currently on social media? Okay, great. And if you're not yet, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You can still get on social media, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever else that might be. But did you know that 57% of consumers think that less than half of the brands that are out there representing themselves create authentic content? Meaning there's lack of trust out in the marketplace. So that whatever it is that a consumer sees as advertisement from a company, more than half of the consumers think this is not real. And authenticity is a critical part of the decision-making process because it goes to trust, okay? So whether or not you're on social media, and it doesn't really matter if it's on social or if in person, authenticity is really, really critical. Would you agree with that? Can you sense when something isn't authentic if there's not a match between a company's why and who they're representing themselves to be? Isn't it more exciting when you feel as though the person that is delivering whatever it is that they're talking about really believes in what they're talking about, that there's passion behind it, and that it is authentic? Okay, the other data point that I want to share with you, and this is a trust data, that's what we'll call it. 60% of consumers make purchasing decisions based on the influence of their families and friends. And that's like 23% make decisions based on the influence of celebrities. So really, trust is a factor that is affecting society today, and that's a separate conversation altogether. But if you're going to build a brand that other people will want to care about, will want to participate in, will want to purchase, you got to make sure that it's coming off as authentic. So if you've not yet done social media, if you don't have a program yet, keep that in mind and do it in a way that comes off as real. Now, how do you become authentic and real in your social media? And again, it doesn't have to be just social media, it's any interaction. Celebrate your successes. You know, if you're launching a new product, if you're launching a new product line, celebrate that, share that. Share your challenges. We've all been challenged quite a bit in the last 12 months or so because of COVID. It's okay to be real about that. Okay, the more vulnerable you can be without feeling inauthentic, the better, because then it's going to make you connect with the people you're trying to reach. Show your personality, whether it's through colors. If you're a serious kind of a person, that's okay. Do you. If you're more of a fun-loving person, then show that through your social media and whatever it is that you might be posting. But more importantly, we recommend that let's use social media to inspire, right? Whether it's messaging that is hopeful, positive, whether or not it connects directly with your message. These are sort of things that people really want to see, not just things that impress, but rather inspire, okay? So that's one way that you can be authentic, whether it's on social or any other interaction. Celebrate your success, share your challenges, show your personality, try to inspire rather than just impress. Why is this important? 90% of millennials, and everyone else counts, all generations count, but I'll tie this into the next slide. But 90% of millennials say authenticity is important whenever they're choosing a company, a brand to support. And that's just not for big brands, that's for small businesses. Why do you think that's relevant? Millennials are relevant because there are 56 million of them currently in the workforce. Either they're working with you, working for you, working amongst you, or they're looking for work. There's a lot of them. It's the largest group of people in the workforce, and arguably probably the largest group of consumers. They're making decisions today about whether or not to buy your product or your service. So we have to be able to communicate in a way that connects to them. That's not to not pay attention to baby boomers or Gen Xers or other generations, but because they are the largest part of the workforce in the American labor market today. It's a critical part. We need to know and understand how they think, okay? And authenticity is very critical to them. Third way that a brand can stand out is by being visible and being consistent. Let me share with you what I mean by that. If you haven't yet done so, and again, this is another actionable step from this talk, take a look at your marketing collateral. Do a quick audit of it. And depending on how extensive your marketing collateral is, it might be more than a quick audit. And your visual brand, whether it's on social, whether it's your brochures, your business card, as well as your words. Do they represent who you are and your why? The question that we asked earlier in the talk. And are they consistent? We're working right now with a client, and they've been around for, gosh, more than 4 decades. And one of the things that we have had to do, the first thing was do an audit, because they've been so focused on the core business, they haven't really been paying attention to their visual branding. So some of their logos were a little bit disjointed. And while it might not seem like a big deal, it is, because this goes to detail, and attention to detail matters. Now, the question of whether or not your branding represents your why is dependent on whether you know what your why is. So first, you got to really answer that question. Who am I in the marketplace? Who am I in the world? Who do I want to be? Who am I? What problems am I trying to solve? And why am I here in the first place, right? These are not philosophical questions. These are practical questions that's going to make sure that you get to the heart of the people that you are trying to reach. So audit your collateral and visual brand. Make sure they represent who you are, why you exist, and that they are consistent. Another way that you can be visible is by speaking and or writing. How many of you speak in public? Okay, great. I know a lot of you are here every Tuesday morning, and that's phenomenal. We love the chamber. Laguna Hills Chamber is a great way for you to get your story out into the marketplace. And go beyond that as well. How many of you write? Okay, and if you're not yet familiar with how to do that, see if you can partner with someone that knows your business enough that can help you with some of that. But creating content is a great way to be visible. But in order to create content, don't just talk about yourself, right? It's not really about me, it's about giving. Be a resource, be a source of information or education that can add value to your audience. If you're on social media and you're promoting different things on social media, don't just promote yourself, promote other businesses. Because that's a great way to, again, connect, be on the same page, be known as a generous type of business partner. And it's so easy. It takes 5 seconds to share or reshare a company or a business that you support and that you have like-mindedness about, okay? So be visible and be consistent. You know, attending the chamber constantly and consistently is a great way to go about doing that, because people like consistency. It goes to trust. Okay. Okay, fourth way that a brand can stand out is by capturing hearts and minds. How do you do this? Well, you capture hearts by using stories. How many of you would agree with that? A lot of companies will talk again about their what and not really start with why. A lot of companies will talk about their information or their data, but not really personalize it in a way that makes a connection. The connection needs to be authentic. It can't be fake, or else you're going to get punished by the marketplace, particularly millennials and Gen Z. And I'm going to share with you a story that stood out for me. Our company produces shows like Tastemakers, and in it, we interview entrepreneurs, business owners about their journey. And it's a great way for them to talk about their story in a way that is marketing, but in a different way. It's storytelling. And so many of you know that we featured Chef Rob Wilson, whose restaurant is down the street in Dana Point. And we asked him a question midway through the interview, and that is, take us back to about a year ago when the state said, we're going to go in a lockdown and you cannot keep your restaurant open. He had just opened his restaurant 3 months before. 40 plus partners, investors, and they just spent $3 million on tenant improvements in order to make the restaurant what it needed to be. 3 months later, he's being told, I have to shut down. So I said, Rob, what did you do? He goes, well, I was laying down right by the oyster bar. And I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do? The next day, he was cleaning his refrigerator, and he was getting very teary-eyed during our interview as he was talking about this. And he said, you know what? It was fight or flight. And I wasn't going to run, I was going to fight. In that moment, Glass Bar, the restaurant that he owns, isn't just now a restaurant. Now it became very human. Now it made me want to even support this organization even more, because it was a moving story, it was emotional. And you know what he did? He started a fish market. And for 22 weeks, the community supported Glass Bar, and it kept him and Glass Bar alive. Being able to convert and pivot, that's another topic altogether, but being able to share that story in a way that was meaningful and authentic is something that will stay with me forever. Another way to also stand out is using data. It's not enough to just talk about stories, because some people are more analytical, and you have to be able to establish credibility using data to inform your audience, right? So make sure that it's well-researched and it's something that can be proven. Last but not least, none of all that we just talked about very quickly here over the last few minutes will matter unless your business delivers quality and impeccable customer service. Did you know that an average consumer deals with customer service 65 times a year? But a lot of them are not happy about the way customer service is done. In fact, I read that 30% of them would rather clean a toilet than deal with customer service because it's not good. You want to stand out. You want to make sure, whether you're a small business, whether you're someone that delivers product, that it is the best quality every single time. It's not always going to be perfect. So if you make a mistake and there are weaknesses, admit it. Admit it right away. That goes towards authenticity. And fix the problem right away. That goes back to being real and being honest, okay? Now, this is really important, and one other thing that I want to share with you, another piece of data, is that, did you know that since the year 2000, 54% of the Fortune 500 companies have gone out of business? More than half since 2000 are gone, because of the disruption of digital, because they didn't evolve. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I'm a small company or small business, I'm an entrepreneur, what does it have to do with me? Here's my argument. If that can happen to a large company that has resources, marketing, lots of people backing it, it can happen to a small business, and we can't afford that. So we can't afford one bad interaction with a customer, because then 72% of them will walk away from your brand and move on to the next. Okay, so that's a very quick, I'm at 17 minutes now. So the way that brands stand out, 5 ways that they do it is by being authentic, by knowing your why, by being consistent and being visible,
No,
by sharing stories and data,
no way.
and last but not least, by having quality and impeccable service. Because when you do those things, then you convert your relationships with your customers, potential or current, from transactions, and they become loyal supporters. When you focus on the why instead of the what, you're connecting emotionally and not just in a way that is fleeting. Okay, now you're talking about purpose and the reason for why your product exists and why it's relevant. And now you're doing less selling. It's more about impacting. It's making sure that they know, your customers know that you care about them. You want the very best for them. You're giving quality product. You're being real and you're being authentic. So in a nutshell, I'm at 18 minutes and 51 seconds. These are some of the ways, these are just 5 of the ways that your brand can stand out, whether you're a small business or a large company. That is the end of my presentation.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Annalisa? Great job, Annalisa, very good job. Any questions about branding, anything that she talked about?
Yeah, it was brilliant, but I missed on the 54%. What business group was that?
Fortune 500.
I was afraid you said that.
Yeah, Fortune 500. So they're gone since the year 2000. More than half have been irrelevant, made irrelevant.
So if you could stop sharing your screen.
Sure. Let me just close with this. So if nothing else, if you get nothing else from this talk, I believe this is the most important thing. If you haven't yet gone through a process of sharing what your why is, complete one of these sentences and then start talking about your business, starting with that sentence. And then you're able to share your why. And then last but not least, I want to invite you, we're going to share another story with an entrepreneur next Wednesday, March 3rd at 6 o'clock. This time it's with Bob and Maggie Tillman. Bob for 30 years dreamt of being a winemaker and owning a winery, and he made that dream come true. He's based out of Paso Robles, but he's also a small business. Okay.
Thank you, yay! So we are recording this, just to let you know, so we can always gain access from Annalisa and the Loop Network, and Jay's on there with just his picture, what they could do. I was on that call when they had it with Glass Bar a couple weeks ago, and I live technically up the street from there, and didn't really find out around the other ways that we all kind of know each other, so it's kind of, know different people. So it's really interesting when you see these stories affect people you know or people that you associate with, and it brings it home. And when watching these businesses, your heart sinks for them because they're trying so hard. And but we appreciate Annalisa coming out. Yes, Jeff.
So Annalisa, one of the things you touched on was social media, and I have a lot of clients that are restaurants, and with social media, people will leave comments. And one of the things I've told my merchants and people that are in the customer service industry is when they get a negative review, not to delete it, but to respond to it and leave that response public. Is that your take on that, or what's your opinion?
I would agree with that. I think it's important to have an open dialogue and be professional, whether it's on social or in real life. The best brands will be not insecure about that, because you're not going to be liked by everyone, and you're going to make mistakes. Your teams are going to make mistakes, and apologize, but fix it right away. So I would recommend, don't hide it. Don't hide it. I think it's, at least for me as a consumer, it's better for me to see that a business is saying, you know what, yeah, we messed up, we made a mistake, but here's how we fixed it.
It is
showing
a lot
the resolution.
Yeah.
Showing the resolution is the best way.
Yeah, and if you're like dealing with the new thing, which is, I guess, people maybe trolling you and really being vicious and mean, still maybe start off with an apology, say contact me. If somehow they can be tongue in cheek and maybe say how they can help them in the future. I think the people viewing these complaints can see if it's a real authentic complaint, and then you should really authentically answer it. Or there are just weird trolly people out there, unfortunately. because they're faceless behind a keyboard. But yeah, I think the best is, and you can go on certain pages on Yelp or whatever, and you can see the different way people respond to those negative things. And I think it always comes better off as, sorry you had that situation, let me remedy it for you. I hope, this is rare for us. I mean, you can defend yourself by all means, but you really want to make it right with that customer, and speak to that customer, and then everybody else just through osmosis is going to see that and see how you deal with your clients.
And if you own the restaurant or the company, it's important to see that. I would want to know that, just to see whether, do I need to provide more training? Is there something that is lacking? Is it real, et cetera, and look for patterns. Does that answer your question, Jeff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So again, I
be-
want to say,
Yeah.
yeah, don't be afraid, because you know what? I have seen those negative comments, and you can tell when someone's just being a brat or someone's being truly, they had an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah, and hopefully they have enough sense to contact the restaurant or the merchant directly instead of airing their laundry on Yelp, which then wants money from you to delete those comments.
Right, and Yelp is it's an interesting platform anyway, right? And
yeah, it's good. It's got good sides. It's bad sides. I swear, it's like Star Wars. It's got the light and the dark, and there's no gray. So.
I actually use one of my negative, this happened years ago, but I had a merchant that they were just having a bad day and they went on publicly and spewed a bunch of stuff, and I kept all the transcripts, dealt with it. And now when I have people go, well, you tell me you handle customer service, is there anybody we can talk to? That merchant, they can actually call and talk to, and that customer now gives me glowing reviews. But the first thing I show them, I said, well, here's what this person said about me. Now call them and see what they say about me.
That's awesome, Jeff. That
turn
is
them
so
around,
great.
yeah.
That's
a great idea. That's very unique. That's awesome.
That's using it to your advantage. So,
Yeah.
But thank you. We want to thank Anna and Jay, Annalisa and Jay, for coming out or coming online today. I'm hoping to see them a little bit sooner, because I'm actually going to Glassbar a week from Friday again. That's the red restaurant you were speaking of.
Yeah.
So, but we want to thank you. We do have this coming up next month, March 25th, and that's going to be with Linda Blair from Thrive. She'll be talking about all your social media stuff that she, where you want to send out these informational emails and how to get your name up there in the Get Google Analytics. So she'll be bringing that up too. And we have a couple more coming up for April, May, and June. We're getting those in the works too. We do have some other events coming up. We have on March 11th, we have another lunch local at the Flamingos Mexican Grill and Bar. It's in the same parking lot as Greek Bistro. This one, they don't have a lot of outside. It will be an inside dining experience. We're going to try and spread everybody out, but we should be a little bit more open by then. So things seem to be going in the right way. So if you're comfortable enough coming out, we'd love to have you. If not, we totally understand, and we will see you on these platforms. We have our breakfast meetings every Tuesday at 8 a.m., which a lot of you, I've seen at those already. We do have a ribbon cutting coming up for county outreach. They have their upscale resale thrift shop on the 24th. It's an outdoor event from 5 to 7, ribbon cuttings right at 6. We're excited to have our ribbon cuttings. The fact that businesses are opening in this time shows you that the trust that they put in their community and in their staff and whoever's helping them with this. So the chamber is here to help you facilitate that, get you the information you need. If we don't know it, we'll go find it out. We'll find an expert for you. So, or at least connect you there. You have a promotion coming up. You have something going on. You just want to advertise your stuff, send it over. I can't advertise it if I don't know about it. So the best thing to do is send those things over to me. I'll get them up. Give me a little lead time. Don't let me know the day before, because sometimes I've already got my emails scheduled to go out and have to edit those again. So try to get that stuff out to me as soon as possible. So with that, is anyone else? Clement, you have anything you want to add?
Well, we're going to do our 30-second commercials starting now. So we want to give everybody an opportunity to share what they do and work and stuff. And Annalise, we're going to do 30 seconds. This is where you get to thank you so much for doing that. You know what I like? Inspire, don't impress. I like that a lot. I don't do it, but I like that a lot. I'm usually there to impress, but now I'm gonna be there to inspire instead of impress. So thank you.
You can
for
do
that.
both. You can
Yeah,
do
there you
both.
go. Yeah, there you go. I like it. But why don't you give us about 30 seconds what you do and what's a good lead for you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure. Hi, I'm Annalisa Lukes, CEO and founder of the Lukes Network. We're a full service marketing and sustainability firm based here in Orange County, but we work with everyone. And by that, I mean small and medium-sized enterprises, whether they're service-based industry or business, restaurants, food, nonprofits, as well as government agencies. And we're very passionate about telling your story in a way that is unique and innovative and hopefully connects with the audiences that you're trying to reach. We're very different in that we really do focus on community and making a difference. We want to make sure that we're making a difference in your business so that you can make a difference in the community. And our website is thelukesnetwork.com. Join us next Wednesday for our next day speakers. Hope that was 30 seconds, maybe a little longer. Oh, unmute.
Emmett, you're muted.
And then what I want you to do is, so put your information in the chat room, your contact information, anything about your business and so on, and we're all going to copy that because that's like our business card at a networking group. So make sure you do that. Just go ahead and put it in the chat. And then Jeff, why don't you go ahead and take on the next 30-second commercial.
Jeff Holleran or Jeff me?
Jeff, sorry.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Recently, I had a merchant that is now a merchant who was doing sailing cruises and not offering credit cards. He was doing Venmo, cash, and checks. He was waiting to get his payments. I now offered him a solution where he can now take credit cards with 0 credit card fees. You heard me correctly, 0 credit card fees. We have a solution that is not for everybody, but it will work in some cases. So if you know of a business that wants to eliminate their credit card fees, we'd love to talk to them. And I would love to talk to a warm lead with the owners of Greek Bistro and Flamingos, as a matter of fact. So would love to talk to them because I have an online ordering thing as well. So
Send me an email.
All right. Yeah. So this is the good news about the chamber, that you get a chance to put this thing into a flyer or something like that, and Jennifer could post all of the great information that you have. All right, so next, Lorenzo, share with us what you do, buddy.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the founder of Grateful Earth Coffee. We make coffee with 6 superfoods that help make you smarter, give you more mental energy, help boost your immune system. It's filled with turmeric, cinnamon, lion's mane, chaga mushrooms, L-theanine, and black pepper. And anyone that you can connect me with who are buyers, distributors, wholesalers, I'm mainly B2C online and on Amazon, but looking to break into retail this year. And I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Jiffy, welcome back. Share with us what you do, young lady.
Thank you. It's great to be back. My name is Jiffy Crane, and I was formerly involved in elder care. That was my passion for many years. With the reality that we've been living through, I've decided to pivot into the financial aspect. So when a person thinks about their retirement, we all know that it takes money to have a good retirement, but you also want to be prepared for crises. So my company is Crane and Associates Insurance Solutions. And I'd love to talk to anybody who cares about their family and the kind of legacy that they'd like to leave. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Now, the other Jeff Halloran.
Hello, thank you. So here's some free financial advice. If someone tells you money does not buy happiness, then respond, pass the money over here. I like to be sad. I help clients be sad through customized financial plans, addressing investments, insurance, and debt. And unlike the CEO of Robinhood, I do have a FINRA license. A good introduction for me is to someone who's hesitated to work with a financial professional because of fees or portfolio size. Thank you, Jeff Halloran, PSF Investments.
Thank you. Nita, you're up.
I'm Nita Wenrick with Ascent Insurance Services. I do Medicare exclusively. My purpose is to educate people about Medicare because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I want to make sure they have the correct information. Once we get that all straightened around, then I help them find the best plan for their situation. So again, I'm Nita with Ascent Insurance Services, and I help people navigate the Medicare maze.
Dr. Iris, you're up.
I'm Dr. Iris Rosenfeld, Doctor of Chiropractic in Laguna Hills for over 30 years. And I have a whole holistic practice, and we specialize in the 6 steps to wellness and especially into nutrition. So yes, people come to me for pain management, but I specialize in your body chemistry. And this month it's Heart Month. And so I have a wonderful blog on my website on the heart. And I'm also encouraging people to check their nitric oxide levels. And you can get the strips on Amazon. Very easy to do at home. If you want more information, I'm happy to help you. My name is Dr. Iris Rosenfeld.
Thank you. And Kent Post, welcome back, buddy. You're up now.
There we go. I got unmuted. I'm Ken Post with Hearing Remedy, and we help people hear better. If you know somebody who's struggling to have a conversation with you, or if you're having some struggles yourself, give me a call. Come over. We'll get you hearing better. I've got something to show that unless you live in Germany, you've probably never seen these. But this is actually a hearing aid. Looks like an earbud, like a which you hook up to your phone. But it's a brand new hearing aid from Signia. They just fit in your ear like that, and they're amazing, and they don't look like any hearing aid I've ever seen. So it's a pretty interesting thing. They're hot off the press. They're actually going to be available mid-March.
All right, well, thank you. Len Herman, Compass Real Estate.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry I was late. I was on the phone with a client, and part of my customer service is when the client wants to talk, I'm there to talk. So Len Herman with Compass Real Estate, as Clement said, thank you very much. My team and I, the Len Herman Scott White Real Estate Group, what we do is we help our seller clients get the most money possible for their homes with the systems that we have in place. And when working with buyers, we're able to negotiate the best deal possible. And right now, the best deal possible is getting them the house when there's almost no inventory. So we've had some great results, and my number and information is in the chat. And I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Len. And Yasser Solomon.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Yasser Solomon. I'm the founder of a software startup called Townly. We're basically passionate about helping small businesses to be able to connect with the local community and be able to build their local brand absolutely free. And we're also aiming to make the local buying experience more convenient and rewarding. So please, when you get a chance, if you can go to our landing page, which is townly.com, and subscribe to our newsletter. We're trying to gather as many signups as possible and learn more about the businesses and how much we can help when we launch. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you all. And I'll just introduce myself. My name is Clement Pepe. I'm a success coach, and my business is on a mission to make sure that everyone who didn't get a mentor when they were first born now they get a chance to have me as their mentor going into the rest of their life. So if you or someone you know would like to take advantage of the 75 years I've had on this planet, the 29 plus years I've had of coaching, I offer free consultation, a free self-analysis for your coaching pleasure. Clement Pepe, Success Coach. And Jennifer, you want to finish it up?
Yeah, with that, I'm going to stop the recording. Yes, we were all recording. Yes, we're going to